Hey everybody, welcome out to the channel. Today is an exciting photo adventure on location day. I'll be shooting with the Viltrox 75mm 1.2 to get some hands-on. I'll have a technical video that may already be out. If it is, I'll link to it. And then this one will be the more hands-on, like shooting with it in the field. This evening we're headed over to Zion to get some landscape photography, some sunset photography. The clouds are spectacular and there's snow on the peaks, so it should just be amazing conditions. But before we get into all that, a short word from our awesome sponsor, Surfshark VPN. Surfshark is an award-winning VPN service which enables you to secure your digital life. Not only does Surfshark allow you to protect your privacy, secure your identity, and protect yourself from being tracked online, did you know that it can also save you money? In just a few minutes of using Surfshark VPN, I was able to find a way to get discounts on some popular subscription services. For instance, by changing my location from the United States to the UK, I noticed that right now, an Audible subscription would save me a little over $5 a month. Even with a YouTube music subscription with Surfshark, I could currently save almost $3 a month with the current exchange rate. You can buy Surfshark right now at 83% off and also get 3 months free using my coupon code AndrewVPN. This also comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee to help yourself find other ways to save using location, all the while protecting your digital life. Big thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Not too long ago I said that, you know, we're changing the channel name. Danae is like no longer on the channel, but guess who's here with me today?
Hey guys!
So we are out, do some photography and have a romantic evening. We're not going to invite you to the romantic evening, so should be good times. Let's head to Zion and get some photos. Sizable raise is in your near future.
A sizable raise?
A sizable raise. I'll take that. So this is how we have to get out of our car these days.
Andrew, where are we going?
We're going up Angel's Landing Trail, just a little ways. Get up a little altitude and then shoot against that side of the canyon wall. See what shots we can find. She is styling with her X100V. This is like yoga photography. What is happening? I like taking a narrow lens like this out here, even though this is, I mean, ideally, I guess, quote unquote ideally, you want a wide camera because of the sweeping landscape you have in these tight little canyons. But taking something narrow like this is actually really fun, because then you have to become kind of a sniper and just pick out little textures and details that are beautiful. And that can also be extremely rewarding, to just, you know, focus on that, not allow yourself to just be, you know, taking your camera out and just shooting these panoramics, which is so tempting to do. This can bring a little bit more mindfulness to the process. You know, I switch back from autofocus to manual focus all the time. I love to do that. But with this camera, they've got a autofocus, manual focus dial, and that is not part of my muscle memory. And so that's frustrating for me. I'm always coming here to switch to continuous single or manual, and then I remember, oh yeah, I got to do it here, or it doesn't work. Like this overrides that, and I really hate that. I'm not sure I mean, maybe they thought this would be convenient and helpful. Maybe it is in some systems, if this is used on other systems, but for Fuji, it's stupid and I hate it. What are you seeing? The what? I really love these little crumpled, textured leaves and berries in this winter, but this lens doesn't focus very close. The reproduction ratio is too small, so I can't get the shot I'd want. I can crop in, but man, for me, when I'm out doing any kind of photography, I love getting close. So reproduction ratio is a major issue for me for this lens. This is a happy day for that crow. He's chewing on an apple, full-size apple. The main thing people probably want to know about this lens is how does it perform? How's the bokeh-liciousness? Because that's what this lens is like gonna be great for. A 1.2 75 millimeter. So many people are gonna totally freak out about that. Most of you know how I feel about bokeh, too much bokeh. It is, in my book, a little overrated, but I think it's still important to know how this lens does with shallow depth of field. So we'll take a couple shots of Danae right here at 1.2, and you can observe the bokeh, do a little more on location with its portrait properties. It is now 2 days since we were in Zion, and I'm out today. I've been out photographing rural Americana. Something I love doing, as many of you know, photographing decaying buildings, small town decay, campers, motorhomes, textures, light and shadow in small town settings. That's what I really love to do, and this lens is great for that. This is a lens I can use from a vehicle, or not too close to that rural subject that I'm after. So it's great, but I mean, it's not necessary, right? You could get like what I'm shooting with right now. You could get the 16 to 80 f4 or some zoom lens, or even one of the cheaper kind of kit Fuji lenses, and be fine with that, because those have pretty good image quality when you're shooting at narrower apertures anyway, and you can shoot from a distance and be more flexible. So this lens is not necessary. It's good for that, but it's not necessary, except, well, first let me show you what I have so far. What have I captured with this lens? I really love what I've gotten in the rural setting so far. I'll show you those examples, but then I want to cut to where this lens is awesome in a rural setting. And folks, the thing that this lens does really well for me is that it captures night photography really well, or low light. The 1.2 aperture, obviously, but even more than that, the compression and the focal length. When I say compression, for those who maybe don't understand what that term is, it's what makes images appear more boxy and straight up. So taking a photo of a face, for instance, it kind of brings edges forward. Everything is more square. It treats the face, especially if you have a good-looking face or a strong face, it treats it more, I don't know, masculine or firm. And when that comes to architecture, it makes lines very straight, presents a sort of unwrapped look is what I call it. So when you look at architecture, walls almost appear to unwrap and give a very flat look, which in rural Americana I absolutely love. That's the look that I go for when I'm capturing those architectural photos that I love. Whereas a wide lens like this one that I'm shooting on right now, this is an 18 millimeter, 18 to 60. It's at the 18 millimeter. You can see that it's wide and like the lines, the laundromat line here, everything kind of curves and it's rounded. It gives a more, it gives more arcs, it gives more grace, I guess, or roundedness, more feminine in some ways. But it puts more stuff in the frame too. And then with faces, faces appear a little bit more. You'll see like the front side of the face appears larger than the ears and other things. And anyway, the way that it treats things becomes more rounded. The reason I don't like that look when it comes to rural is because I love the kind of the duality of architecture that's surviving and strong against the natural forces that seek to undermine that or make it decay or fall apart. That duality for me, that struggle, is the essence of what I love about rural photography. Humankind creations left to the devices of entropy and how well or not well they're standing that test, that trial. I love that. And so this lens for me really is perfect in those regards. And because at night I don't want to shoot on a tripod if I can help it. So whereas a 1.2 is not going to work very well if I've got a wide depth of field, right? It's not going to be sharp all the way through the image. A lot of times what I'm photographing, I try to get as flat as possible anyway, so that's okay. Or like in this case, what I'm going to be doing here is shooting into the window to find little angles or scenes, and shooting at a faster aperture is going to be fine. Of course, there is pretty good light here, but not always is that the case. And so that 1.2 can really help. And I'll give you some examples. I'm going to shoot tonight. I'm shooting around town. I'm going to get some photos of some stuff that are really, really kind of dark, and I'm going to get them handheld. Of course, it helps that I'm on a camera, the X-T4 in this case, that has a stabilized sensor, so I can get away with a slower shutter speed. I also shoot in burst, and I shoot really steady. I do burst because chances increase that one of those shots will be sharper than the others. But for now, I'm here downtown. So start here at this laundromat. I'm gonna go to a bowling alley too, and I'll get there before it closes, and then I'll come back again after. So I'll get that kind of before and after and be able to get some shots. I'm not gonna video me shooting this laundromat here, but other than that, I'm just gonna show you the photos I get tonight with this lens, and I'm really excited to go get those photos. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do for now. Photo time, ready, go. does it for demonstrating the capabilities of this lens at shooting at night in rural landscapes and architecture, and that was fun. But I know that most of you don't do that type of photography. You're not as weird as I am. I get that. So let's finish up this video with one last hands-on type of shooting, which much more of you, I'm quite sure, will be interested in, and that is more of the documentary style stuff at night, where a small aperture like this makes a lot of sense. So you wedding photographers, event photographers that find yourself shooting it in darker conditions sometimes without an external light source to bring to bear, having a fast aperture like this coupled with a long focal length, a lot of reach, is extremely helpful, and is a lens that even more than the 90 f2, which has a little bit more reach but not the same aperture. In this case, man, 75 is probably one that I'd be slightly more interested in. Yeah, so, and definitely over that Fuji 80-28, because that definitely doesn't have the low access. And as an event photographer, obviously that 50-120 is going to be extremely helpful, but not as much in low light, obviously. So this lens becomes pertinent very much to us that shoot that type of work as well. So we'll end by showing you those examples, basically, of what I was able to capture. And I have to say, 100%, I'm not, this lens, I don't know how it performs like at a scientific level yet. That video will be a follow-up. I will follow up with a more technical review for those of you that are a little bit more, geek out on that more scientific stuff or that more technical stuff. Not all of you care about that, so this video is for you folks. What this lens is absolute perfection for me is those cases where I want to document in low light. Absolute beautiful. This is the lens I would get. It used to be the 56-1.2. I'm not sure it is anymore, unless I'm in narrow, tight spaces, because that's where this lens is gonna bite you. But for event work, where you have some distance to work with, where you're gonna be further away from your subjects, or with family outdoor, or whatever, when you have some distance to work with, yes, this lens is perfection. Stop watching the video, get this lens if that's you, for Fuji. I can't think of a better one, honestly, especially if you're in weddings. Like I said, I'm starting to repeat myself, so I'm gonna shut up now. But this lens is great. So let's finish by me showing you some of those photo examples that I'm most happy with, and tell you thanks for watching. Stay tuned for that more technical review if I already have it. Link is up here, watch that one too. That's it though. Thanks for watching, you guys. Love you all. Remember to do good with your cameras and your Viltrox or Fuji or whatever lenses you decide to shoot with. Do some good in this world. And we'll talk to you again real soon.